Gentlemen, let me ask you something personal. Do you often wake up 2, 3, or even 4 times in the middle of the night to use the bathroom? Or maybe you still feel like your bladder isn't empty even after going. If you're over 60, you might be tempted to brush it off and tell yourself, it's just part of getting older. But let me stop you right there. What if I told you that these signals aren't just about age, and ignoring them could quietly steal your comfort, sleep, and long-term health? I'm Grace Miller, and for the past 2 decades, I've worked with men who thought these symptoms were something they had to accept. But time and time again, I've seen that's not true. The body always speaks. You have to learn how to listen. And when it comes to your prostate, those signals are loud and clear. Millions of men worldwide struggle with the same issue, but far too many never discuss it. Some feel embarrassed, while others believe there's nothing they can do. The truth is, with the right daily approach, you can relieve that pressure, protect your prostate, and reclaim the restful nights you deserve. Think about it. Every time you wake up at night, you're not just losing sleep, you're losing recovery time, energy, and focus for the next day. Over months and years, this adds to fatigue, irritability, and even higher risks of health complications. But here's the encouraging part. Small, simple changes to your daily habits can make a huge difference. The science is precise, and I've seen men transform their lives by adjusting how they treat their bodies. So, in this video, we're going to explore why your prostate is sending you these warning signals, and most importantly, what you can do to calm them down naturally, without relying only on medications or expensive procedures. If you've ever thought there was no solution, I promise you, you're about to see how much control you still have. But before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced those restless nights, repeatedly waking up to use the bathroom? Drop your answer in the comments below. It helps other men realize they're not alone. And while you're here, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support allows us to share life-changing health strategies with men like you. When men think about prostate problems, they often blame age first. But the reality is, some of the most damaging things we do to our prostate happen in our everyday routines, without us even realizing it. These aren't rare medical conditions or complicated genetic issues. They're small, repeated habits that quietly place stress on the bladder and prostate until, one day, the body pushes back. Take holding your urine, for example. Sounds harmless, but think of the times you've been in the middle of a meeting, stuck in traffic, or simply too comfortable on the couch to get up. You tell yourself, I'll wait a little longer. At first it feels like no big deal, but over time, your bladder stretches unnaturally, like a balloon pumped with too much air. The pressure doesn't just stay in the bladder, it shifts down into your prostate, compressing the tissue and creating long-term strain. That's why men who delay urination too often eventually struggle with incomplete emptying, weak flow, or frequent nighttime trips. Another overlooked habit is sitting for long stretches without moving. Whether it's hours in front of a TV or behind a desk, sitting reduces circulation in the pelvic area. Poor blood flow means less oxygen and nutrients reaching the prostate. Over the years, this lack of support has contributed to inflammation and enlargement. Standing up every hour and walking for a few minutes can reduce that burden significantly. And let's not forget hydration. Many men, especially those past 60, drink less water to avoid bathroom trips. But concentrated urine irritates the bladder lining and, in turn, worsens pressure on the prostate. Ironically, trying to go less by drinking less creates the opposite effect. Balanced hydration, especially earlier in the day, keeps the system flushed and lowers the strain on your urinary tract. These daily habits may sound minor, but they work like drops of water carving into stone, slow, subtle, and damaging over time. So ask yourself honestly, how often do you put off going to the bathroom, sit for hours without moving, or skip water because it feels inconvenient? Share your story in the comments, because you're not alone. Now, let's tackle one of the most common, and often most uncomfortable, questions men over 60 carry silently. Does masturbation help your prostate or harm it? Most men never bring it up with their doctor. Some feel embarrassed, and others think it's inappropriate for their age. But avoiding the question only keeps you in the dark, and the truth might surprise you. I once spoke with a retired engineer named Robert. He was 67, sharp as ever, but privately worried about his prostate. He had read countless conflicting opinions, some saying masturbation would damage his health, others insisting it was protective. He didn't know what to believe. That uncertainty kept him stressed, and stress, as we know, is another silent enemy of the prostate. Here's what the science actually says. 2016 Harvard researchers followed more than 30,000 men for nearly 2 decades. The men who ejaculated at least 21 times per month had a 33% lower risk of prostate cancer compared to those who did so only 4 to 7 times. Similar findings came out of research in Australia. The logic is straightforward. Your prostate produces fluid every single day. Toxins and old cells can accumulate if that fluid stays stagnant for too long. Over time, this buildup increases inflammation and raises cancer risk. Ejaculation is the body's natural way of flushing the system, like refreshing the plumbing before it clogs. That doesn't mean more is always better. Moderation matters. Occasional daily masturbation is typically harmless and can even support relaxation, stress relief, and better sleep. But when it turns into compulsion, when you're doing it out of habit or anxiety rather than choice, it can leave you drained, cause pelvic discomfort, or even irritate the nerves in that region. The key is listening to your body. Afterwards, do you feel lighter, calmer, more energized, or do you think fatigue and tension? Those signals are your body's honest feedback. For men over 60, masturbation is not only safe, it can be beneficial, but it works best when it's done with balance, not excess. So let me ask you, how does your body usually feel after release? Relieved and refreshed, or tired and depleted? When it comes to protecting your prostate, 3 daily habits may seem almost too simple. But when done consistently, they create a foundation of strength that can completely change your nights, energy, and even your long-term health. Let's break them down one by one. The first is proper hydration. Most men underestimate how much their prostate and bladder depend on the right balance of water. As we age, our sense of thirst weakens. That means by the time you feel thirsty, your body is already running low. And when water intake is low, your urine becomes more concentrated. This concentrated urine irritates the bladder lining and increases the workload on your prostate, almost like asking an engine to run without enough oil. But here's the real key. It's not about chugging large amounts of water in one sitting. It's about pacing yourself. A steady intake throughout the morning and afternoon keeps your urinary system running smoothly. Cutting back on fluids 2 to 3 hours before bed gives your bladder a chance to rest, reducing those frustrating nighttime trips. I've seen men who used to wake up 4 or 5 times a night improve drastically by changing this routine. My own father struggled with nightly interruptions until he spread his hydration evenly during the day, and within weeks, his sleep became deeper and more restorative. The second habit is taking a light walk after meals. This may sound like something your grandmother would recommend after Sunday dinner, but the science is surprisingly strong. Walking after eating stimulates circulation in the pelvic area, delivering more oxygen and nutrients directly to your prostate tissue. Think of it as gently massaging your internal organs through movement. It also lowers blood sugar, which is critical because uncontrolled diabetes is one of the hidden drivers of prostate enlargement. In fact, a study from the University of São Paulo showed that men who walked for 10 to 15 minutes after meals had 35% fewer prostate-related symptoms than those who remained seated. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need a treadmill or gym membership. Just a slow walk around your block or even a stroll inside your home can set the circulation in motion. I know a group of retired men in my community who meet after dinner for a casual neighborhood walk. They call it the Prostate Patrol, and many of them swear it's helped reduce both belly weight and nighttime bathroom trips. The third habit is maintaining a regular sex life. This can still feel like a sensitive subject, but science is precise. Ejaculation helps flush the prostate, reduce inflammation, and balance hormones. It's one of the body's natural protective mechanisms. Long-term research from Harvard showed that men who ejaculated more than 21 times a month had a significantly lower risk of prostate cancer compared to those who did not. Beyond the numbers, there's another layer. Intimacy, whether with a partner or through self-release, reduces stress and supports relaxation. That's critical because stress hormones like cortisol can inflame the prostate when left unchecked. I often tell my patients, your body is designed to stay active in every sense, and maintaining sexual health is part of maintaining overall vitality. When these three habits, hydration, light walking, and regular sexual activity, are practiced together, they create a powerful shield for your prostate. Each one addresses a different angle. Hydration keeps your bladder and prostate from irritation. Walking nourishes the tissues with circulation and metabolic balance, and sexual release clears out the gland itself. Alone, each habit helps. But combined, they amplify one another into a lifestyle that supports not only your prostate, but also your sleep, energy, and confidence. Of these three habits, which one feels easiest for you to start today? If there's one area men often underestimate when it comes to prostate health, it's nutrition. What you put on your plate every single day has a direct influence on whether your prostate thrives or struggles. Food can either protect you by lowering inflammation and supporting hormone balance, or quietly accelerate problems without you noticing, until symptoms arrive. Let's start with the foods that heal. One of the most potent nutrients for prostate protection is lycopene, a natural antioxidant found in red fruits and vegetables such as tomatoes, watermelon, and guava. Research shows that men who regularly consume lycopene-rich foods have up to a 28% lower risk of prostate cancer. Lycopene neutralizes free radicals, the unstable molecules that damage cells over time. I often describe it as a shield that polishes your cells, keeping them resilient against wear and tear. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage are another essential. They contain compounds called sulforaphane that enhance detoxification and protect prostate cells. These vegetables also help reduce estrogen dominance, which is a hidden factor behind prostate enlargement in aging men. Pair that with zinc-rich foods such as pumpkin seeds, oysters, and almonds, and you create a diet that supports hormone balance and the structural integrity of the prostate gland. Zinc in particular is critical. Low levels are strongly linked to higher prostate risks. But what you avoid matters just as much. Processed meats, excessive sugar, and heavy dairy products increase inflammation and strain your hormonal system. Over time, these choices can trigger weight gain, higher insulin levels, and a greater risk of prostate disease. A simple swap, like replacing late-night ice cream with chilled watermelon slices, can satisfy your cravings while protecting your health. Remember, every meal is an opportunity to fuel healing or feed inflammation. So ask yourself, what's one small food swap you can make this week to give your prostate a fighting chance? If there's one habit most men overlook, it's the quality of their sleep. We talk about exercise, food, and even supplements, but sleep is often treated as optional. The truth is, deep restorative sleep is one of the most potent natural protectors of your prostate. Think of it as your body's overnight repair shop, where hormones are balanced, tissues are renewed, and inflammation is controlled. During the deepest stages of sleep, your body produces melatonin and growth hormone, two natural anti-inflammatory agents. These hormones reduce swelling in the prostate, encourage cell repair, and protect the gland from damage over time. But when sleep is poor, the opposite happens. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, rises. Testosterone, your vital male hormone, drops. This imbalance creates the perfect storm for prostate tissue irritation, abnormal growth, and even greater cancer risk. In fact, a long-term study tracking over 2,400 men for 10 years found that those with chronic sleep disturbances were twice as likely to develop aggressive prostate cancer compared to men who slept well. That's how powerful sleep truly is. So what can you do? Start with your environment. Make your bedroom dark, quiet, and slightly calm, conditions that naturally signal your body to rest. Turn off screens at least an hour before bed, because the blue light from phones and tablets blocks melatonin production. Try to go to bed and wake up simultaneously each day, even on weekends, to train your internal clock. And avoid heavy meals, alcohol, or excess caffeine late in the evening. They keep your body too busy to fall into deep healing rest. Some men also benefit from simple relaxation techniques before bed, like deep breathing, meditation, or a light evening walk to release tension. These small actions quiet the nervous system and allow you to drift into deeper sleep cycles. Remember, poor sleep isn't just about feeling tired the next day. It's a direct hit to your prostate's ability to heal and protect itself. So, when you look at your bedtime routine, is your bedroom helping you heal, or is it silently working against you? When you step back and look at everything we've discussed, one truth becomes clear. Your prostate is not just another small gland in your body. It's a silent guardian of your health, quietly influencing your energy, your sleep, your confidence, and even your long-term vitality. The danger is that many men ignore the early warning signs. It might start with waking up once or twice at night, or noticing a weaker stream than before. At first, these feel like minor inconveniences, but over time they grow into daily frustrations and, in some cases, severe medical conditions. I've seen too many men accept these symptoms as just part of aging. But let me be blunt, decline is not mandatory. Science and real-life experience show us that prevention and awareness are far more potent than resignation. By listening to your body, making consistent but straightforward adjustments, and seeking help when needed, you can protect not only your prostate, but also the quality of your life for years to come. Think about it like maintaining a car you value. If the engine light flickers on, do you ignore it and keep driving until it breaks down? Of course not. You take it seriously, because early intervention saves you time, money, and stress in the long run. Your body works the same way. Those nightly bathroom trips or that nagging discomfort aren't inconveniences to brush aside. Warning lights telling you it's time to make a change. The habits we've covered, hydration, light walking, regular sexual activity, nutrient-rich foods, and deep restorative sleep, are not quick fixes. They're long-term investments. Each one by itself makes a difference, but when practiced together, they form a shield that protects your prostate against unnecessary strain, inflammation, and even the risk of cancer. Small actions, like choosing a tomato-rich salad for lunch, standing up to stretch after an hour of sitting, or going to bed 30 minutes earlier, may not feel dramatic, but the cumulative effect, month after month, year after year, is life-changing. And here's the most empowering part. Control is in your hands. You don't need to wait for a prescription, an operation, or a crisis to start caring for your prostate. Every man, no matter his age or history, can begin today. I've worked with men in their 50s who turned their health around, and I've seen men in their 70s and 80s make changes that restored their confidence and improved their daily lives. It's never too late to start. Of course, lifestyle habits are powerful, but medical guidance matters too. If you're experiencing persistent symptoms like frequent urination, discomfort, or a weak stream, don't delay visiting your doctor. Early diagnosis, treatment, and healthy daily practices can dramatically improve your outcome. Many men who acted early later told me their only regret was not speaking up sooner. So I'll leave you with this. Your prostate health is not just a medical issue, it's a quality of life issue. It affects how well you sleep, how much energy you have, how confident you feel, and how much freedom you enjoy in your day-to-day life. Ignoring it is a choice, but so is protecting it. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you found it valuable. More importantly, share your experience in the comments below. Have you noticed changes in your prostate health? What small habits have helped you feel better? Your story could encourage another man to take his first step. Together, we can break the silence, spread awareness, and support each other on this journey. Because at the end of the day, your health is your most significant investment, and your prostate deserves the best care you can give it.